Right, so this morning we would have dealt with physical health, and of course, this is Jeffrey was here with this Jeff, and would have spoken about all the things that we need to do. Okay, so at this point in time, we're going to be looking now at mental health mental health and drug abuse. So at this point in time, I'm going to hand over to our presenters and officers. And you're going to give them your undivided attention. So, right? Ask your questions where appropriate. So I would like to present to you at this time Dr. Castillo. And Mr. Maynard, you will be before as you begin our mental health.
Good morning, everyone. So I was here sometime last year. Yes. Right. I've met you before. But you have just come back on the light. All right. So let me introduce you to my colleague. So in mental health, we have different members of the team. There's a psychiatrist, a psychologist, the mental health officer, and the nurses that would in the hospital and social workers. Mr. Maynard is one of our mental health officers. He's one of our mental health nurses that works specifically within the community to be able to address our different clients. All right, so he's here and he's going to be assisting me in presenting this morning to you guys. All right, so leave your questions. Well, we try to facilitate your questions, if not during the presentation, after. All right, and we hope not to be too long to weary you. All right? So, we're going to talk on drugs. Now, don't take up like complete. Now, does anybody know how drugs affect the brain? But before we go there, the way that drugs affect, do I have your pictures? The way that drugs affect the brain is quite similar to how sugar affects the brain. Oh, you see this here with this? A caramel. Who likes caramel?
Everybody does.
All right. You put your hand. So, this is Alicia. You guys know her. Alicia likes caramel. Loves caramel. Now, does anybody know why Alicia would love caramel so much? Because it tastes good. Do you know what happens in the brain when Alicia has caramel?
She does go mad.
Okay. All you have to listen to me, all right? I have more than one caramel. But if they don't listen to me, my caramel is my pocket. All right, good. So you said something interesting, huh? My caramel. All right, good. What happens? What is affected in the brain?
When they eat sugar, the word function in your brain is active.
The reward center. Excellent. Have a seat. Okay. Your reward center is affected. And you know what? In drugs, when a person uses a substance, their reward center is also activated. So, gentlemen, who I met earlier, could you play my first video on your show? So this is a very important video. I had a presentation before and it's not showing up specific video I want. So I'm hoping that this video is able to share as much as I would like it to. Alright, so please pay attention.
Say the word juice, and say the word addiction, and drugs such as alcohol, heroin, and cocaine often come to mind. But other substances like nicotine, marijuana, and prescription pain medications can also be addictive. So can certain activities such as gambling and sex. Whatever the case, addiction involves craving and loss of control, with the substance use or activity continuing even if it causes harm. This can include problems with relationships, jobs, school, money, or your health. Addiction is not due to weakness or a lack of willpower. Instead, it's a chronic disease involving changes in the brain. There, billions of nerve cells or neurons communicate through a series of signals and chemical messengers. When messages leave one neuron, they attach to a receptor on the receiving one, like a key fitting into a lock. In addiction, this communication process is disrupted. Large amounts of a brain chemical called dopamine are released, overwhelming receptors and resulting in the high that people experience. To keep that feeling going, they take the drug or engage in the behavior again and again. Eventually, the brain changes and adapts, driving them to seek out more just to get the same feeling. That's called tolerance. Stopping a substance can cause withdrawal symptoms such as nausea, tremors, depression, or severe anxiety. Taking too much of a substance or a combination of substances can result in an overdose and serious illness, or even death. Young people are especially vulnerable to addiction. The impulse control center of their brains, known as the prefrontal cortex, isn't fully developed, making them more prone to risky behavior. And using substances can cause lasting harm to their developing brains. If you think your child might be experimenting with substances, talk to them about it. Parents can help by taking a strong stand against substances.
So if we could just have a little bit more like to the front. All right, excellent. So we learned that the reward center is excellent, and a particular neurotransmitter is released. What is that neurotransmitter called? Dopamine. Now, dopamine is that neurotransmitter that makes you feel good. And that causes you to want to get more and more and more and repeat the actions. Now, what created your brain that way so that it actually happened to you? You want it to happen again, but not necessarily related to substance use. Now, there are different types to do this presentation. There's different types of drugs. Yes, stay here. Yes. Give me some of the names of the different types of drugs that are available. Hand it back. You can shout out the answer. You put up your hand and I point to you and you tell me. So there's a lady right in center that you can stand here, see with this head in one. Cocaine is what you said. Nicotine. Ecstasy. What's another name for ecstasy? Money. Or meth. Methamphetamine. Yes. Opium. Don't I have that here ready? Trinidad money. Have opium drugs. Punching from the alcohol family. Yes. Cocaine. And you want last one? White coke, punching, all a part of the alcohol family. Weed. What's another name for weed? Marijuana. If we shout, then it becomes too loud. Yes. Happiness number. I want another name for marijuana. Yeah, put up your hand and then ganja.
Cannabis.
Mary J, correct. Another name for it. Kush. Well, that's a form of marijuana hybrid. Gentlemen, You see, because the rest of you are talking, I can't hear what the gentleman in the back is saying. Gentleman who just sat, could you please tell me what you were saying? Oh, you say local. I just wrote very little push. That is speed. You have another one? But, right, good, hash. So there are different types of drugs in movement, right? And there's also tobacco. A lot of people don't think that tobacco is really important. But it is, because your tobacco is going to have your nicotine. And I please have everyone different.
It's just like
Do I have everyone's attention? Excellent, good. So, your cocaine is going to come in different forms. People use it in crystals, crack cocaine. People use Molly in party pills. You go to a party, you want a nice feel, some people say, they may use it. And the marijuana can be used in different forms. Some people like drink it, smoke it, and eat it. Bake it. Now, does anybody know what happens to marijuana when you eat it?
yes. Yes.
So it becomes more
Powerful.
potent. Now, does anybody here know anybody? And if I ask you, anybody who has eaten a marijuana brownie? Next question. Does anybody know anyone who has eaten a brownie and ended up in hospital? Does anybody know anyone who's eaten a marijuana brownie and ended up in intact?
I drink so much.
Okay, so I'm going to ask Mr. Menon something here. He's going to help me tell you about marijuana. Some of the symptoms that you may experience. And then we move on from here.
So you all stated that you all either tried some ingestion from marijuana, know someone, have done such, and have been hospitalized. What it is you observe, the changes of your body, when it is that you ingest it.
I feel like I was
Hold up. Everyone is excited, but in order for everyone to benefit, let's give everyone a chance to speak. So by a show of hands, you stand and you give your contribution. Show of hands. Closing in the air. Nothing? Okay.
I was seeing
Start seeing things. Random vomiting, nausea. What? Seizure. Lost control of your body. Rapid weight loss.
when you high your body, does feel like it's glitching. Does feel like it's glitching.
Okay, so you have some kind of tremors experiences. Okay, your thought process is slow. This person. Okay.
Yeah, no worry.
Feel the sleep.
Feel suicidal.
Sleep more. Eat more. Easy. Okay. So we have a very knowledgeable batch of people here that knows the symptoms when using marijuana. But let me ask this question. For those of you who had a brownie, why? Was this right? Pause. There's a discussion. We need order here. Again? Okay, so fastness took you there.
Just wanted to try.
You just wanted to try it for fun. Curiosity, temptation, bad influence, bad influence. You are hungry. No, all responses
I don't
valid
need brownie. I don't need oil.
and factual. Now, the question will propose: how many of you either went to hospital, know someone to hospital, or to St. Anne's Hospital? And no, don't throw on St. Anne's Hospital. It has its place and no. What it is we don't understand, and many of you said influence, curiosity. With mental illness, pay attention, pay attention. Before I get there, how many of you, and don't laugh, take a minute, think about it seriously, and there's a follow-up question. How many of you in this room has a mental disorder? Not something to be ashamed of. Right. Pause, okay. How many of you have a relative or know someone with mental disorder? Good. Now the thing about it, your curiosity. For many of you, you did not put up your hands when I asked the question, if you have a mental disorder. Because of curiosity and the unknown, based upon your genetic link to somebody who has some type of mental disorder, how your body chemistry is made up, how your tolerance level is, will determine when you take that substance, how it reacts to your body and your brain. High dosage of marijuana into your body, somebody says seeing things. You start feeling tremors, seizure, start hearing things. Those are characteristics that is point to mental disorder or a particular type of disorder. So it's all well and good being young, curious, want to try out things. But just like how you sit in a classroom and things are explained to you and you have the internet, you also have the responsibility to go and read up on these. And before you try it, you ask yourself, why? Why do I want to try this? Am I willing, able, and ready for the responsibility that accompanies? Because you all are sitting down here normal. But for some reason, I often wrongly unaware to you all that it is coated with marijuana oil. The potency level can adversely affect any one of you. And the thing about it, 9 of you eat the same wrongly, and you all react differently. You come out of it differently because somebody will or their life normal thereafter. 3 persons talking about might be hospitalized because excessive heart rate, complications in breathing. But outside of that, you start seeing things, you start hearing things. You want to strip yourself naked. If you want to jump off a building, it becomes very. When you look at your behavior, suicidal. But added to that, you may not recover from the high exposure of substance.
I don't think I recover.
Persons who are addicted to marijuana are preoccupied with urgency. And that's because of the receptor. You would have seen where it is that in the cartoon, the person kept putting tablets into their mouth. Your body has never experienced marijuana, and the high you get from it, euphoric feeling you get from it. To some people, it's quite nice. To some people, it's an escape. But when it is that you are faced with additional pressure and that high subsides, to escape that pressure, want to get that high again. But because the body is accustomed to the level, you are unable to achieve that high that you're seeking. Hence, the increased volume of the tablet that it is small.
Right, thank you, Mr. Mina. Just let's put on the two side. Right, so next one. Right. So he spoke about all the different effects. Some people might eat more, some people might become paranoid, some people may have memory problems, some people may become anxious. Go one slide up. Now your brain, all of you, some of you may think that your brain finished developing. Your brain development only stops in your early 20s. It is amazing. So now your brain still developing, at least your frontal still, very much, so that you can make better decisions. Now if you start to use marijuana very early, what tends to happen is a lot more people, they have programs. They're less likely to go further in their education. They're less satisfied in their life, and most times it is earn less than the majority of people. I don't want that to be any of you here this morning. So while people might tell you, your father smoking it for how much years, your brother never look at them, never end up with symptoms, you don't know it's going to affect your brain and how it's going to affect your life's outcome. Now, I thought about another thing that affects young people. And one of them was vaping. All right, good. So I'm going to ask you, gentlemen, to play the next video. Now, there's a lot of people telling you vaping is better than if you smoke cigarette. Light. Good. So let's learn about what happens to a young man, young just like you, and we'll see what happens to him as a result of vaping.
We have a warning this morning from a Michigan teenager who received what's believed to be the first double lung transplant due to damage from vaping. 17-year-old Daniel Amends says doctors told him he only had a 10% chance of survival without surgery. He's on the mend, but he told our Dean Reynolds that many others, including his own brother, could be at risk.
How do you feel? I'm starting to feel a lot better.
Daniel Amends is very lucky to be alive.
There's good days and bad days.
He started vaping about 9 months ago. Everybody else was, but by September, he was gasping for breath. His mother, Tammy, recalled his health crisis.
He went from not being able to breathe a little tiny bit to not being able to breathe at all.
It took a double lung transplant at the Henry Ford Hospital in Detroit to save Daniel's life. He was out for weeks.
40 days went by, and you don't have any memory until after the lung transplant. I lost.
They give you a medication that makes you forget.
I couldn't talk or move because my muscles had all atrophied. So I didn't have enough strength to even lift up my head.
He lost 50 pounds from his illness and surgery, needing help to get out of bed or up the stairs. Now he's speaking out against vaping.
I think that my story will compel people to understand the dangers that I was unaware of.
And yet Daniel is having trouble getting that message across, even to his own brother.
His twin brother can't stop vaping.
Right.
Daniel blames the pull of nicotine for what he says is his brother's stubbornness.
What do you tell your brother? That he's being stupid, but he really doesn't listen, and I don't understand it.
Especially because Daniel now faces a lifetime of medication, monitoring, and modified dreams of the life he once hoped to live. For CBS This Morning, Dean Reynolds, Grosse Pointe, Michigan.
So it's obviously very.
So let's go back on the right.
To Daniel's point, it is important to understand the dangers, and the CDC has identified the black market THC products, which Daniel has acknowledged using.
All right. And let's go to the presentation. Now, some important questions to ask you guys. Because it seems vaping is a real fad among young people like yourselves. And people don't realize the dangers that come along with vaping. Go back one slide. Oh, sorry, go forward. Right. Do you know that one e-cigarette is the equivalent to one pack of cigarette? So you're getting so much nicotine into your lungs. And in addition to that, there are different aerosols and oils and flavoring things that go so directly to your lungs. Your lungs not capable of handling it. And it starts to mount a response. Essentially what happens is that your lungs becomes the lungs of a very old person or a person who has a lung disease and it cannot breathe. Your lungs are supposed to expand and then contract. Expand and contract. But as a result of the damage that happens, your lung can't do that. And so you fight to get air. Now, he live in the US. We live in Trinidad. We get no lung transplant here. So the reality is that if it happened to you, also. No, I want you to understand. So people outside selling it, and everybody going to a party and they're vaping. Everybody pulling out and they're seeing a big smoke coming out. And you're not even realizing that your smoke is also affecting the people around you. Because it can also affect people with second-hand. People don't realize it. So you're smoking and damaging your lungs at a young age. You mightn't get lung cancer because of tobacco and all these different things that go along with it. But you are damaging your lungs just the same. And you're left shorter. Yeah, the only person that wins are the people that sell it. It's our vaping shops all over Trinidad now. And them making the money. So be wise, young people. Be very, very wise. If you may be vaping now, you should stop. Not cut down. Stop. And if you know someone who is, you need to let them know the reality. That they can die very, very young. There's so much more to life than a living liquid. Oh my Lord. Yeah? So briefly, we're going to just talk quickly on cocaine, and then we'll end quickly with tobacco. Alright? And then I'll ask 3 questions, and we'll see how we can reward your reward center so that you can focus from it. Alright, good.
Before I go into coke, we spoke on what? Marijuana, spoke about. We know marijuana has some deadly penalties towards it. So an opportunity to present itself. So let's present itself. Let's give something secondary, but we will create a dependency. Make people become addicted. Because you all realize with vaping, this is the vaping. Constantly, but the lie that is being sold that it doesn't affect. But as was said, it is something that is not ordinary or normal that's entering your body. And once it is not normal, it's going to change the function that your cells are supposed to work under. Things do happen. This case, that young man had replacement of his lungs. That's an expensive surgery. Our reality is that we have that, finding that cash, even finding a lung, performing the surgery, we have to mind that. Cocaine, some names. What do you all know cocaine is? white powder, C. Anything? A hand in the back. What do you have to say? In the back by the door. Crowd right. Right. What about late house and Carnival? We have a fellow called right. Just as marijuana, just as you all stated. Anybody, in fact, have ever tried marijuana? I mean, seriously, this is not a joking matter. Anyone knows anyone addicted to it? Quite a few of you are exposed to it. What have you observed in terms of their behavior? They fight for money, quick fix. They can't do it without it. They go mad fast. They are addicted to it. Right? Factor, right? Prefer more than food. Waste money on it. Anger issue. If you don't get it, your whole body will shut down. All that are symptoms of the use of cocaine, but it's also boiled down to addiction. You become antsy, edgy, impatient. You're looking to see. You will even steal from your child. You may have a large screen television that your mother bought for you for Christmas. You come home this evening with the TV going your uncle self. Your PlayStation that you get from your godfather, you come home this evening where it is. And you sell it to our country. The man on the street, you buy a loaf of bread for him. He go on, he trade it with somebody, he gets $5 for it. What you do with $5? That is how much of a prisoner you are to the substance. That's how much you are a prisoner to that word called action. It fries your brain. The high is short-lived, and that is why every minute, on the minute, you are looking. And the fact of the matter is with addiction, what you start off with, not what you're going to end with. So you're always increasing the quantity and the frequency. You will also kill for it. Understand, addiction controls you. The only way to win your addiction is when it is that you control the addiction and not the other way around. Now the question may ask, and it was proposed in the slide, becoming addicted to a substance is not a form of weakness, but it merely explains your inability to cope with life around. For many of us, when we have a problem, not you in particular, but some adults, some young adults, we drink, we smoke, we get into activities that really does not bring about a solution, but it brings about that temporary satisfaction. And when it is that you don't deal with life problems, that temporary satisfaction that you keep retreating to causes a behavior that results into an addiction.
All right, good. So we're coming down to the end. I think we know enough about alcohol. Now Carnival is coming up. And somehow it is promoting that we should drink. You don't need to drink to enjoy life. And lastly, tobacco. Can anybody tell me what are some of the risks to your body or health that comes? Because it's the same thing with how it makes you feel and you feel good and you feel less stressed. What are the risks that can arise from the use of tobacco? Yes. Your lungs fail you. You always want to say that. That's alright, that's alright. Not only do your lungs fail you, but you can get lung cancer. Yes, hand up, right down in the back. I said lung cancer, I'm sorry. Okay, fine. What else? What happens with your mouth? Your lips get black, your teeth becomes discolored. Do you know that you're also putting yourself at risk for throat cancer, lung cancer, cancer of the kidney, cancer of the bladder? Do you know also that you're putting yourself at risk for strokes, heart attack, heart disease, kidney failure? So, what can we take away from this morning's presentation? I was one great person. What can we take away? Yes, gentlemen. Could you please come? Yo. All right. Now we're going to listen, please.
Don't take substances that is harmful to your body.
In a nutshell. And he's ironic that he knows that he should not be taking substances that are harmful to his body. Yes. Don't take substances as well. And you've been attached, so I will bring one more. All right. Good. My last caramel. I have a final question. Before we go to the final question, could you go to my final slide, please? Now, of course, this is a subject at the school, so Bible important. So, why do we not use these substances? Besides the fact that it's going to affect your body. Your hand up and breathe. Your body is up and also we're going to read this together. I think your eyes are relatively good enough. Let's go. 3, 4. What? Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost which is in you, which ye have of God, and ye are not your own? For ye are bought with a price. Therefore, glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which are God. So remember that whatsoever you do, whether you're lying, you're eating, you're drinking, you're studying, all should be done to the glory of God. And we ought to be mindful that our bodies are not to be treated just any old way. They are important. God died for you. And He wants you to be healthy so that you can enjoy life to its real fullest. So last question. You have a friend that uses one of these drugs. One person. It can't be anybody like a friend. Okay? How are you going to encourage that friend? My lady in the back, or in the side, come my way. No, don't give me. Well, I will tell them to stop. No, I want you to think about it. Because you are faced with it. If you are not using it, your friend is using it. How are you going to help your friend? Speak to them about it and after effects and pray with them and say, okay, so get one effect from marijuana and back, because everybody says, see, affect your brain and everything. Yeah, so no, I think we get on your chat. All right, good. Lovely. Thank you very much. Okay, good. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to take away that treat your bodies. And there's life that can be enjoyed without the use of substances. You don't need to be drunk or under the influence of any substance for you to be able to enjoy life. Give me 2 ways we can enjoy life outside of a substance. And quite on the back.
If you don't understand.
I mean, you could drink a little bit more, but I just think to drink. Yes, gentlemen. You can eat food, but remember, don't overdo it. You need to be temperate. I come and keep it. Have a personal. Right, you can treat yourself. You can have a day when you sort yourself out yesterday. You can sleep. But also remember, you can play games with your friends. You can go online. You can go to the beach. You can go by the river. You can have a movie night. You can go and exercise together. Listen, life can be enjoyable. And I want you guys to live it to your fullest. And I want you guys to be excellent. Any questions as we go through? No? Lovely. Thank you so very much for your attention, guys. May God bless you.
I know. All them female teachers.
Alright. So we want to give this another round of applause. Alright, so we do that. Something they have friends who probably smoking or something like that. You know, have a chat with them, let them know how dangerous it is. Right? So we have, I believe we're supposed to have a presentation of presenters. I will give. So I see Mr. Johnson as well. And I'm looking for the grace and anxiety.
Teaching us small ones. Fingers are smoking and sleeping and alcohol. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Welcome. Welcome. I was a bit
Right, students. So listen to the instructions here. So the students that would have got permission from their parents to get the health checks and the free health screenings. I know some people tell me they're going, looking in a particular direction. Good. These students will go downstairs so that they can organize to get the health checks. The rest of the students who have not got their permission, what is going to happen is that capital session is over, or the session that we have is over. What is going to happen? You will return the blinds to the position that they were. Set your classrooms and the teachers will be here shortly. So let's start with everyone. So let us pray, head bowed, eyes closed, and wait till I have absolute silence. Head bowed, eyes closed. Please. Head bowed, eyes closed. Please. Father, thank you, Lord, that our students will know more about how to take care of their bodies and then the things that they should have. We pray that you will give them wisdom, Lord, as we pray in your name. Amen. Students, those who do not have concept forms, but class.